Welcome back, everyone. This week we are in Hollywood. It's a new location for the channel. Usually we're a little bit more north. Today we decided to try south. You're going to see two different time points in this video. Right now, this was later in the day. It was around 4 o'clock and there was a big storm rolling in. And the first videos you're going to see are from the early afternoon on a previous day. And then the second half of the video is from this point in time, so later at night. And we find some really cool shells this day. It's actually one of my favorite spots to visit. If you want to see all of that, just keep on watching. First find of the day is a shell that I'm not really sure of. If you know what this is, comment down below. Here we have an auger shell that we find a lot of, but I found some big ones this day at this beach. Here is a tiny checkered nerite. I had a friend with me and I was trying to show her all of these different kind of shells. Here is a calico clam, not to be confused with the calico scallops. One of my favorites, it is a giant bittersweet clam. Look at those beautiful stripes on that. Right near it, I found this little piece. I like picking these up. I think they're fun for doing crafts, but I'm always wondering what kind of shell that it came from. This is an Atlantic jewel box. It has those pretty orange and red striping on it. A lot of pieces on the beach, a lot of broken shells. There's a mossy arc. A spiny jewel box. This one I had to look up. It is a little dove strawberry cockle. I found a couple of these before. I really like them. I think they're very cute. Big piece of a leafy oyster. And here is the first calico scallop of the day. Here's a tiny piece of sea glass. I found a lot of sea glass this day. Not all of it was rough. Some of it was kind of sharp. Little spiny jewel box. But I did want to take all the sea glass that I could find off of the beach and make sure that no one was stepping on it. Found a flat scallop. Wasn't whole, so I put it back. A little piece of a lettered olive. No lettered olives at that point in time. Here is a lucine. I don't think it's a Pennsylvania lucine, but it could be. Another piece of a flat that had such beautiful red and pink coloring. I was so sad that it wasn't whole, but I put it back. You'll actually see later in the video that we do end up finding a bunch of flats. Here's me enjoying the beach. The top part of a Florida fighting conch. Like I said, there was a lot of big chunks and pieces on the beach. I love the top parts with those beautiful spires, the points. I got excited, and sadly this lightning whelk was broken. Goes back. Saw a blimp on the beach that day. I find them so fascinating, and I wanted to take a video of this one going by. This lion's paw would have been huge. That chunk is enormous. Right near it, do you know what this is? It is a flamingo tongue. That's broken. Ugh, sadly. A turkey wing, or a zigzag arc, or zebra arc. A lot of different names for it. This one was a pretty perfect example of one. So I picked it up. Here is a yellow prickly cockle. You see that yellow on the inside? Didn't see a lot of cockles that day. That was actually the only one I saw. That's why I decided to show you guys. One of the little sandpipers. He didn't want to be in my video, but here is a spiny jewel box. That was a nice size, and this was actually the start of the videos of the next time that we went to the beach. I walked up to this, got excited. It is a giant piece of what is probably a milk conch. It must have gotten pretty beat up and ended up on shore, but you can see how big it is in comparison to my hand. The next find was another little turkey wing. I guess. I'm not sure what this is. Might just be a piece of something that I ended up picking up. Here was a great find, a Scotch bonnet. I love finding these, and I did not think that I would find them this south, but here it is. A nice sized calico scallop. Those pretty red stripes on there. Next to it, found another one of those lucines. This one I do know is a Pennsylvania lucine. You can tell by that notch on the side there. Found a big piece of green sea glass.
Are you sure?
Here's a piece of a conch.
Oh my God.
I had to pick it up. I thought it was plastic at first because of how vibrant the pink is. Look at that. Picked up a flat. This one was pretty discolored, but it was mostly whole. After looking this up, I think it could be a boring turret snail. Not too sure. Comment down below if you know what it is. Here is a beautiful flat scallop. This one had just gorgeous colors on it. And I found another one right near it. Another flat scallop. Started to have problems here because it began raining and my camera got fogged. But here is a spectral bittersweet clam. I found a pair of sunglasses on the beach and I actually really like them. I thought they were really cute. Someone probably lost them on a boat and they washed up onto the beach, but it is trash, so I did want to take it off. Mini shell, I think it could be a small tinted cantharus, ribbed cantharus. Another beautiful Scotch bonnet. I really lucked out finding two this day. Again, sorry for the quality here. My camera was a bit foggy. I found a piece of what was probably an apple murex. Sadly, it was not whole, it was broken. I found another calico scallop. Believe this is a cut ribbed arc. You can tell because it has a lot of different lines on it. Just waiting for me was this beautiful Florida fighting conch. It's a juvenile. That was my favorite find of the day. I could not believe it. Another piece of sea glass. And, oh, fell right out of my hand. Flew out of my hand. A nice Atlantic bittersweet clam. I really do like those a lot. First lettered olive of the day. Can you spot that bright orange? Wow, look at this piece of this tulip. That would have been huge. I really hope to find one soon. Not probably until I go to the West Coast. Another piece of sea glass. Hopefully you guys like sea glass because I got to show you a lot today. And one of those false limpets. Somehow I got back to a foggy camera, so I'm sorry about that. But I found another little juvenile Florida fighting conch. Had a beautiful milky white color. You can just start to see those brown stripes forming. Near it I found a seraph, a large turkey wing. Had this red dot on it. I don't know if something happened to it in the water, but it's kind of interesting to see. Tiny spiny jewel box. Another one of those turret snail shells. If I am wrong, please tell me in the comments, guys. There are parts of the beach where the higher rack line had a ton of shells. These big shell piles. And I did stop a couple times to take a look at them. But it was mostly little pieces of shells, and then the usual kind of those clam shells, some arcs. Found an auger in those shells. If I missed anything, comment down below. Tell me if I missed anything and you guys see them. Figured this was a tiny little bittersweet clam, maybe? Lettered olive. Some pieces of coral in there too. On the beach there were huge chunks of coral that day. Coral and rocks. It's actually a little dangerous because I ended up cutting my boyfriend's foot because the coral was so huge and it was everywhere. I love these shells. I forget what they're called, but I do have a few of them at home. And this was not coral. At first I thought it was, but I think it is a huge leafy oyster or maybe an Atlantic jewel box, but it was massive. I thought this might be a sea sponge. Picked it up to give it a little inspection. Just something different on the beach that I saw. And near it I found a part of an olive. I was really hoping it was a brownie. I think it is. Still haven't found a whole one, only pieces. As you can see, at this point it was getting pretty late in the day. I think it was around 6:30 maybe. The rain had finally stopped and the sun was starting to get lower in the sky. Hollywood is a really beautiful beach and it's usually pretty quiet. This was the northern part of the beach and it was really nice. We ended up finding a lot of shells. Another conch. Is it whole? And sadly there was this giant opening in the back, but it was so beautiful. I found, I think this might be a buttercup lucine, only because you can see that orangey kind of yellow on the top. I had to stop and pick up this crab claw. It just had such beautiful colors on it. It was very intriguing to me. Gave it a little inspection. And, ooh, this is a big piece of a conch shell. Wow, look at that orange and the striping on it. And oh my gosh, it got even better on the inside. That pink, it looks like a sunset on the inside. Another little miniature shell here. I think this is a juvenile conch, but very, very tiny. Right offshore there was a rainbow. You can kind of see it out there after the rain, but I was enjoying the beautiful sunset. The next few videos are some of my favorites just because the lighting was so amazing from the sunset. There's a thorny oyster. One final turkey wing. And just keeps getting better and better with that lighting. The final shell of our day was this beautiful, big, spiny jewel box. Gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of the video and watch the sun go down with us.